Hi, this is Alex from devstories.eu. Langflow, episode 15 of 15. The visual editor is brilliant for building your application, but if you deploy that same drag-and-drop interface to your live servers, you are eating up memory and leaving your application logic exposed. When it is time for production traffic, you want a lean, headless backend container. That is exactly what we are covering today with production containerization. It is incredibly common to see teams finish building a flow and simply deploy the entire Langflow application, user interface and all, onto a cloud server. The interface is strictly for development. In a production environment, you do not want anyone dragging and dropping nodes. You want an immutable, secure API that just processes requests. Langflow provides a specific mode to handle this transition. When you start the service, you use a command flag called backend-only. This tells Langflow to disable the React frontend completely. The server still spins up, but it only exposes the API endpoints necessary to run your flows. This dramatically reduces memory consumption. It also tightens security by shrinking the attack surface, ensuring no one can visually access or alter the application structure. To package this for deployment, you write a Dockerfile. You start with a standard Python base image. Since Langflow relies on modern Python tooling, you manage your packages by locking your dependencies with UV. Before building the image, you export your exact dependency tree into a lock file. Inside the Docker file, you use this lock file to install your packages. This guarantees your production container runs the exact same package versions you tested during development. Next, you bring your application logic into the image. In Langflow, your application is fundamentally just data. When you finish building in the visual editor, you export your flow as a JSON file. Inside your Docker file, you copy this JSON file directly into the image structure. This is the part that matters for custom logic. Many complex flows rely on custom components, which are small Python scripts you wrote to handle specific tasks. The flow JSON references these components, but it does not contain the actual Python code. You must explicitly copy the directory containing your custom component files into the Docker image. You then set an environment variable, instructing the container exactly where to look for that component path when the server starts. The final piece of the Docker file is the execution command. This command triggers the Langflow module, passes the file path to your baked-in flow JSON, points to your custom components, and includes the backend-only flag. When this container spins up, it is entirely locked down. The visual editor is gone, the flow configuration is static, and the dependencies are fixed. You are left with a fast, headless API ready to receive prompts and return responses. The most critical takeaway is that your development environment and your production runtime are fundamentally different shapes. Build visually, but deploy headlessly. Since this is the final episode, I encourage you to dive into the official documentation and try containerizing a simple flow yourself. If you have ideas for what we should cover in our next series, drop by devstories.eu and let us know. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me. Until next time, take it easy.